Hi, I wanted to talk to you about soul versus ego, and I will share a story where I clearly saw the duality of the ego that resides within me. Now, for me, soul is a particle of God consciousness that is within me, that is still, I don't want to say separated, but because ego is separation, soul is the unification of the separation, unification of the whole within me, within the separated human consciousness. And soul awareness resides beneath the ego. Soul is the place in the heart. For me, many people can associate the soul seat in different parts of the body, and it's not about something is wrong or right, but it's how you feel at this exact moment. And for me, it's easier to locate in the heart, even though there is no physical location because it's all energy. But let's just assume that soul is located in the heart and is the space, vast space of infinity, a portal where everything exists, everything resides. Ego, on the other hand, is the duality, the layers that surround the heart that we often, or I in this example, often identify with, where I'm losing my connection to that well of infinite abundance and experience, and I become trapped, I think that's the right word, in past or future, in worries about what may happen, or in regretting the past. And so last year I've been on a retreat and I've had a very powerful spiritual experience, if we can call it that, where my whole body went into a state of shaking. All my nervous system was recalibrating, my jaw was shaking, and I was making sounds. But this experience, it wasn't triggered by any plant medicine or any substance. It was basically triggered by the awareness of being, and this experience happened through something called Enlightenment Intensive that I attended on, I believe it was day 2 or 3 of that. One of the experiences that happened, because many happened. And my body started shaking, my jaw started shaking, I started making sounds. Everybody was going for break to eat, and it was silent break. We couldn't talk with each other. We were contemplating the nature of existence. Who am I? And as I was walking down, I just knew in my body that I'm not going to be able to eat. So as I approached the kitchen, I turned into a field and I was like, I don't know what's happening. I did feel safe. I was connected to the safety within myself. When these experiences happen, I no longer identify with fear or stay with fear. I observe it with like vast, spacious awareness. Therefore, it did feel that I was the safety beneath the experience, and this was just a temporary experience. So I went to a field of grass because I was like, okay, I don't want to hide from people, because I had to come back in, I think, 45 minutes to another round of practices. but I also didn't want to be fully visible. So I didn't want to hide, because I didn't want people to worry about me if I was not able to walk back, if the experience lasted longer or took me deeper. But at the same time, I was a little bit embarrassed to be seen in this state. There was a lot of shame flowing through me, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna choose to stay on the grass. And I lay in the grass on the corner and I surrender to the experience, and I start to feel this orgasmic flow of life force within me. It was so powerful, like my whole body was vibrating. Light, love, bliss, ecstasy. But there was many things happening at the same time, and there was me contemplating, who am I? Who is it that I am? Who is it that is experiencing this body? So it was not philosophical contemplation, it was more contemplation of dropping deeply into the embodiment of now and feeling and experiencing what arises, feeling the I. And I felt and I heard, as I was experiencing this, making sounds, I heard people walking, because after the break they were going for silent walk. And as some people were approaching, my eyes were closed and I didn't want to focus on who is doing what, because I was in my own experience. I observed my mind telling me, someone is walking, you need to stop yourself, you need to calm down a little bit, you are exaggerating, like behave, control it, like why do you give your body over to the experience? Just control it, tame it, shut down, shrink yourself, basically, like just pretend to be normal. And I was like, wow, a lot of course emotions were running through me, and shame is one of the biggest emotions in my life. And I was like feeling this shame and still contemplating, who is the one that is feeling and experiencing this and hearing those thoughts. And I didn't react to those thoughts, I was just observing them, and I was still flowing with my experience. And after a while, because I didn't react, my ego mind went to the other opposite. Someone was coming again, come on, make it bigger, make it louder, exaggerate a little bit, because they're not gonna think that you are real, like make it more real, make it more dramatic. And at that time I was like, wow, how in very short spaces of time, here I am, and I'm going from one extreme to another, because I didn't react to that, to shut myself down. The mind wanted me to, the mind needs something to live, to exist. It needs our awareness, our attention, our power. And it went the other side. It's like, oh, maybe she will go into that doorway. And I was like, who is it that is here in the mind? Who is it that is experiencing this? And who is it that is experiencing this whole experience and hearing those duality statements or polarity in such a great contrast? And it so much reminded me of yin and yang, light and shadow, right? Light and dark. But it's like, ego is not one or the other. There is no one good and the other is bad. It is contrast, but we are, the soul is the experience that holds it. If you look at the symbol of yin and yang, is the circle, the wholeness of life, that is the I am presence. I am presence. And when I saw this, maybe even if I believe it was for the first time so clearly and so aware, that I'm not none of that, that I am so much more than the mind tells me. I am. That was so powerful for me to understand. And it came to me a few days ago because in my life, in my journey, soul's evolution, I'm tapping into a place within me where I can see the duality that plays, the polarity of the mind, but I am in the center of it and within it and holding it with my awareness. And as long as I can stay rooted to that truth, rooted to something that is intangible and invisible, I am experiencing the present moment. The moment I come out of it and identify with the mind is the moment I lose the connection, I lose myself. Therefore, life is about continuously coming back to that present essence of who we are and the place within the heart where our soul resides. To complete this video, I would like to add that also during that retreat, I believe, yes, it was the same retreat, I had another experience and vision. It wasn't even a vision, it was a real tangible open eye vision experience where I saw that the mind is like a slime, like an invisible slime that pretends to be me. And there was me, which is the vastness of existence, of space, which has no substance and no color. And slime was invisible, a little bit gooey substance that was coming into me and telling me all those stories and thoughts, and I could observe it from the point of view of I, and I saw it, but there were moments where I was losing myself and I allowed my awareness to go into the slime and merge with it, and suddenly I was already in the mind and I lost the connection to the space, the observant, the witness of the mind and of the life itself. And it was like, it felt a little bit scary because it was like, I was so vividly aware of everything, and there's like a little bit of slime I was pulling back, a little bit of slime I was pulling back, and like after a few hours of this experience and at the same time feeling in my body that radiant love, everything is love, everything was like incredibly, tangibly, beautifully loving. At some point I lost myself, and I lost myself in the mind, and I didn't know how to go back, and I didn't know how to come out of the identification with the mind because I was so entangled in the slime that I became the slime. And I realized that I was in the slime and I couldn't see a way out, and I went for a crisis. And the reason I'm telling you this is because we are often in life, when we feel like we are in crisis, we are often identified and entangled with that slime. But if we can only remind ourselves or have someone to remind us that this is not who we are, even if we have not had experiences like this in our life where we remember who we are, that we are aware of. We are all born tangibly remembering who we are. As children, we have many moments, and before even reincarnating in this world, we remembered who we are. And this life is about reminding ourselves and remembering. So if you ever forget, if you are in crisis, if you get trapped, I invite you to just slow down, take a breath, and ask yourself, who am I beneath that experience? Who am I underneath? And let your soul remind you. Let yourself come back to identification with your vastness, your limitlessness, your loving nature, rather than the story that you are telling yourself. This video even helped me remember more. So thank you for allowing me to share this with you. And I would like to let you know that my friend, my dear soul sister, and I are running Lion-Hearted Leaders Activation, where we will be connecting to the vastness of the heart, the space where our soul, which is our inner leader, resides. It's a free 5-day journey, and the link is in the description below.